Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming on live with me this afternoon on the usual Wednesday Born to Lead program. We have scheduled for a meeting with a friend and a colleague. I usually call her a colleague here with us today, but regrettably, I would announce that she's unable to be here today because she's falling ill and will not be able to join us. So Dr. Victoria Dow will still continue with our broadcast as it were, and hopefully we'll draw some lessons from draw as we continue with our discussion. So last week we started a session with Dr. Victoria Dow on emotional intelligence. Today we're supposed to tie it up with leadership, how it relates to leadership. And we're hoping that she will do that, but sadly she's ill today and has not had the opportunity to be online with us. Again, let me seize the opportunity to say big congratulations to Dr. Dow's daughter, whose birthday was 2 days back, I suppose. Yes, 2 days back. Congratulations to you, Danielle, and we bless the name of the Lord for keeping you thus far. And we're praying that your days ahead will be better than the days past, and that in life you'll grow from strength to strength, from glory to glory. Thank you again for that portion. Today, we'll try to still talk about emotional intelligence and how it relates to leadership. Because again, like we mentioned the last time, there are a number of things that we can learn from. All right, a number of things that we can draw lessons from as far as emotional intelligence and leadership is concerned. So if you would agree to come along with me, we'll do that session today, and then eventually, hopefully next week, we'll have another session with Dr. Victoria Dow as it were. So last week, part of the things that I gathered from her is the fact that emotional intelligence has to do with not necessarily how we see others, but how we see ourselves. And I hope I'm correct. By that, it basically means, or at least I've tried to paint the picture that as individuals, we must learn to be guided by how we live, how we react to things, how we relate to people, how we express our emotions as far as this life is concerned. Now, in reading through concerning emotional intelligence, I came across a chart that shows us basically what emotional intelligence domains are and competencies. And as I try to break it down, we will relate with the issues as it were. Okay, let me just face that now and see if we can hold our discussions based on those factors. Okay. Intelligence, emotional intelligence. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a challenge with what should have been my life. All right, so part of it is that intelligence, emotional intelligence breaks life into three aspects. Okay, self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness and relationship management. Self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Under self-awareness, okay, under self-awareness, we have emotional self-awareness. And for me, that will basically mean your ability to be aware of your emotions, to be emotionally self-aware, knowing the limits to which your emotions can go to, and having to be able to control your emotions. Okay? The other is self-management. Self-management. Under self-management, you have emotional self-control, you have adaptability, you have achievement orientation, and then you have a positive outlook. Under social awareness, you have empathy and organizational awareness. While based on relationship management, you have influence, you have coach and mentor, you have conflict management, you have teamwork, and you have inspirational leadership. I'm going to have to concentrate on relationship management, because the bulk of what we should have been discussing with Dr. Dow is the fact that we all must learn to control our emotions as it were, or we ought to learn to know how to manage not just our emotions, but to also manage people as far as our emotions are concerned. All right, as far as our emotions are concerned. Now, thank you again. Comments are already flying in. Thank you, my elder brother Andy Yawa, for your comments. Yes, it is the ability to allow reason prevail in taking a conscious decision bereft of impulse. That's what, again, emotional intelligence is all about. He's also gone ahead to say that it is also the enablement of a leader to be on the same page with the led in terms of expectations and stability of mind to act in a rational way. Thank you so much. These are insights to guide. And let me say, if you have anything or any understanding of emotional intelligence, please feel free to post them in. Like I said, I'm not an expert in this field. I've done some readings, I've done some studies in this regard, but I can't claim to be an expert as far as emotional intelligence is concerned. So thank you, my elder brother Andy Yawa, for this contribution. Now, like I was saying, I would like to concentrate on relationship management. The first point that is stated out there is that is that for you to have relationship management, you have to have influence, or the ability to have relationship management will enable you have influence. And I have discussed here on very many occasions the fact that I define leadership as influence. Influence is your ability, is your capacity, is your strength to be able to affect someone's way of doing things, to be able to impact on someone's life, to be able to change someone's mind, change someone's direction, change someone's culture of doing certain things. Okay? And based on that, I've always stated that every one of us is a leader because every one of us has the capacity to influence people. Every one of us has the ability to influence people in such a way that their attitudes towards certain things change. Okay, I've just finished a seminar with a group of workers somewhere just less than 30 minutes ago, and the essence of that was to try to enlighten them about some of the um, financial schemes or opportunities that have been presented by the federal government of Nigeria to which they can latch on and improve themselves financially. Now, excuse me, before that time, all of them had several notions and perspectives as far as the government of the day is concerned. But in understanding this, I've tried to get them to see, to know, and to understand that there are certain schemes that have been provided and have been made available that every one of us can draw from and can learn. Now, somehow, I've been able to influence their lives to see things from a different perspective. Okay? So, every one of us must understand that we can influence people. We can change things around our environment. The fact that things used to go wrong and that you have suddenly come to change things means that you have the capacity, you have the ability, you have the strength, you have the wherewithal to influence and to impact people. Okay? So that's what this self relationship management is all about. Okay? The ability to influence people. And if you have the ability to influence people, then you are a leader. And I say this again confidently that every one of us, regardless of who you are, what you think about yourself, how you see yourself, and how you relate with yourself or relate with people around you, regardless of what you think of yourself, you have the ability to influence people. Okay? And for as long as you have the ability to influence people, then for as long as you have the ability to influence people, then you have been born to lead. So for you to be on, well, perhaps let me say, for you to have appropriate emotional intelligence, you must also consider your ability to influence people. And by the way, how you live your life determines how far you go in influencing people. There are people who have negative attitudes all year round. There are people who have negative attitudes all year round, and that has gone ahead to basically influence people negatively. A good leader has positive attitude all year round. Now, that is not to say that things work out the way that you expect them to work out. For you to have a positive attitude, you don't need everything to work out the way that you expect them to work out. But it simply means that you have the ability, um, 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 you have the ability to turn things around, turn things in the sense that things turn out negative, all right, or things appear negative to people, but because you have a positive attitude, you have the capacity to see the good out of everything. And by the way, every situation that happens to you as a person, there is something good in it. Now, not everybody knows that, or not everybody sees life from that perspective. For you to have influence, you must have a positive attitude. Your attitude must be positive all year round, all day round. There are days that you wake up and you feel too tired to do anything. People who influence people will turn that around to something positive. Okay? So, a leader who is able to manage his emotions is someone who is able to influence people and to influence them greatly. Okay? And to influence them greatly. Now, the other aspect is coach and mentor. Every good leader mentors our coaches and mentors people. What does it mean to coach people? It simply means to train them, to empower them, to equip them, to strengthen them, to show them the way, to open their eyes to new things, to hold their hands and walk across the bridge that you have once walked over so they do not fall. All right? So that's what it means. Now, the other aspect is mentoring. What does it mean to mentor? I give this as an example. I say, yes, okay, as an example. I simply tell people that for you to be able to mentor someone, you have to live the life first. Now, you may be around and think that people do not notice you. There are so many people that see you, that mentor you, that no, not mentor you, that look after you or that copy your life. There are so many people that want to be like who you are. And again, you may think that you are not doing much. But if you are living a good life, if you are living a comfortable life, when I say comfortable, I'm not talking about being so satisfied about everything that happens around you. No. But if you are living a good life, which is that in spite of the challenges, you are able to overcome them, to look them in the eye and to stand your ground and to move on, then there are people out there who are looking after you or looking out for you and trying to copy your life. Whatever you have, there are people who admire you for it. It may be small, it may be much. So in that instant, you should be able to mentor people. You should be able to look at people, encourage them, strengthen them, and show them the way. The problem with most of us right now, especially the older generation, is the fact that we have gone through certain things and we are refusing to help the younger people go through them. We have gone through certain challenges, and sometimes we even pretend that we didn't have such challenges. But it is in sharing your challenges that the younger generation come to see and to understand what you're doing, and to be able to even understand why you're doing the things that you're doing, and to be willing to walk alongside you. And of course, if you are a mentee, when you approach someone to mentor you, you must also go with a clear picture of what you expect from the person. When I say clear picture, I mean you must go with a mindset to know that you are coming to draw from the person's experience. You are coming to draw from the person's former way of living. You are coming to draw from the person's mistakes, so you don't make the same mistakes. You are coming to learn from the person's life. A mentee should know that when a mentor is slow at doing certain things, it is for a reason. It is for a purpose. A mentee should know that when you see a mentor doing certain things, there are reasons for the person doing certain things because the person's experience is showing him how he should relate with his or her environment. Thank you, my friend and brother Stephen Bahago, for your comments. EI gives one the ability to influence people from one's place of strength. Your desire to influence others can be enabled by EI, which deals more with self-awareness. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, when I began, I started from the angle of self-awareness. I began from the angle of self-awareness. And last week, Dr. Victoria Dow emphasized on this, on the fact that you've got to know who you are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And you've got to acknowledge and to accept yourself for who you are. The reason being that none of us is whole, none of us is entirely perfect. All of us have flaws. And the sooner you acknowledge your flaws, the better you are able to coach and to mentor others. The quicker you understand your areas of shortcomings, the quicker you understand your areas of strength, the quicker you are able to mentor people. So as part of EI, emotional intelligence, you must be able to do what? To mentor people from the area of your strength and from even your area of weakness, getting to show them that you have also suffered weaknesses at some point of your life. And of course, everyone who has good relationship management must also be able to do what? To manage conflict. This is where leaders have it tough. This is where our challenges arise. The ability to manage conflict. Many a times, a lot of us shy away from conflict management. A lot of us attempt to dodge the issue of conflict management. The reason is that conflict management can be tough. Conflict management can be tough. Because imagine that you run an organization, or in fact you have a family, a wife and children, and the children seems to be having a clash with their mother. Sometimes you know that obviously their mother is wrong, but how do you explain to their mother without necessarily making the children feel or think that they have become superior to their mother? These things can be tough, can be very tough. How do you, in a workplace, let a superior officer understand that the conflict he has with an inferior officer is because of his own fault and not because of the superior officer's fault, without necessarily making the inferior officer think that he's better off than the superior officer? How do you manage this conflict? Because these are areas that basically need people to take a position. And sometimes taking a position will offend a group of persons. Taking a position will offend a number of persons. But you see, every good leader understands that he or she must be at the forefront in conflict management. Again, as humans, wherever we go to, we always have conflict. As peaceful as any environment can be, there would still be need for conflict management. There are days that we encounter certain things or situations and think that they are peaceful situations. However, usually it is because people choose to be quiet, to bottle up pressure, to bottle up conflict within them so they do not explode. That does not mean that peace exists. It just means that we're swallowing the conflict, or we're swallowing the issues as it were, and we're refusing to bring them out to the forefront. So every good leader knows how to manage conflict. He or she is not afraid to arise in the face of conflict. Leaders ensure teamwork. If you manage your emotions properly, you will ensure teamwork. If you guide your emotions properly, you will ensure teamwork. If you are so self-aware, you will ensure that teamwork takes place. Because I would believe that to be self-aware, like I've stated earlier on, will include knowing your areas of weaknesses. And it is identifying your areas of strength and weaknesses that you know what you should be doing and what you should not be doing, and what others should be doing and what they should not be doing. And if you identify what you should not be doing, you need team members to come alongside with you to do or to help you in your area. It just seems that this continues to, the network seems to be having some bit of a challenge. My apologies over that. So I was talking about teamwork and how every good leader ensures teamwork just by knowing his or her strengths and weaknesses. Okay, to build a strong team is to even understand every team player's weakness and strength, so that when you are assigning responsibilities, you assign based on strength. When you are assigning responsibility, you encourage those who are stronger in certain perspectives or in certain areas of life to hold on to what their strength is and to live out for those leave out those areas that are supposedly areas of weaknesses that they do not have strength to act upon. Okay? And finally, everyone who is self aware is also an inspirational leader. Is also an inspirational leader. When you inspire people, okay? Because leadership has to do with inspiration, with so this is slightly beyond motivation. Of course, motivation winds up your emotion at that time, gets you going, but after some time, it whittles down, you wane out, and you need some level of inspiration to continue in your journey. Now, everyone who is self-aware, properly self-aware, is able to be an inspirational leader. He or she is able to lead he or she is able to lead in such a way that he or she becomes inspirational to others. And when you inspire people, you do not necessarily need to talk. People just need to see you living your life the way that you ought to be living. People just need to um, to watch from afar and to see that nothing discourages you, that even the things that should have been your greatest challenge or greatest obstacle inspire you to do more. And the more you do that, the more people draw closer to you and the more you continue to influence their lives. So people who are self-aware, people who are self-controlled, people who are self-disciplined based on their awareness are people who are inspirational leaders. Be self-aware so you can be an inspirational leader. Again, I'll go back and just say a few things like I've mentioned, and then we'll be done for today. I said that for you to have to be emotionally intelligent, you must be able to influence people from your areas of strength. And when you influence people from your area of strength, it is also wise that you become a coach and a mentor to such people. In coaching and mentoring people, there are days and times that you have or you are called upon to do what? To manage conflict. So you must also have the skills and ability to manage conflict. I understand that conflict management can be very tough. This is about the toughest part of leadership, conflict management, where you have two friends who are in conflict and you need to be in the middle to bring a solution to that. I can imagine what it takes to do that. But for you to be emotionally strong, you have to have a good conflict management skill. You have to be able to build a team and ensure teamwork. Also, by the knowledge of where your strength lies and where your weaknesses are. And finally, you have to have or become an inspirational leader, or you become an inspirational leader. An inspiration, like I mentioned, is not just by the words that you speak, they are based on the actions that you carry out. Now, so these are the few things that I'll be able to mention. Just like I've said earlier on, thank you. The comments keep coming on, and I would pause at this point and require that those who still have a deeper understanding of emotional intelligence just send in the comments, and let's see how many comments we can get and how we can relate with them as we go on. So my brother Stephen Bagua sent this: self-regulation and team management from the place of empathy and social skills. I'll need some more enlightenment on that. Thank you so much, sir. But you've got to be able, I suppose from what we drew last week, that you've got to be able to know how to self-regulate and then ensure team management from the point of what? Empathy and social skill. Of course, social skill is the ability to relate socially with just about every strata of human beings. Okay? Everywhere you go to, you meet persons of different colorations, persons of different mentalities, persons of different attitudes. Your ability to be able to manage yourself within them, to be able to ensure that people of different qualities form a team and you are able to manage the team, ensures that you have sound emotional intelligence. Okay? Thank you, Uncle Steve, for your contribution. Okay? Do we have any coming in just before I draw the curtain? Do you have any other comments coming in? Do you have any questions? All right? You may be listening. If you have a question, send me the questions. I will send them out, and then we would get responses from other persons out there. Any questions from anyone out there? Okay. Okay, so yes, Uncle Steve was responding. His earlier comment was in response to my comment on conflict management, and I thank you for for your response then, all right? Self-regulation, team management from the place of empathy and social skill. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Uncle Steve. Do we have any other further comments coming in or questions? And by the way, that reminds me, Uncle Steve, I had you on my mind and on my schedule to get you to come over on this stream so we could share, do some lessons together. So perhaps after this session, I'll give you a call and try to make arrangements, proper arrangements with you. Thank you for reporting yourself to me today. I'm grateful. All right. So I would suppose that the comments are not forthcoming, or I'll suppose that either we're too shy or we're yet to, or we're chewing on what has been mentioned so far, so we can at later time ask the questions that we need to ask. Now, like I said, today is supposed to be an abridged session because we should have had a guest with us, but she's falling ill, and I wish her the quickest recovery. I trust that she will be much, much better by next week so we can continue with the broadcast. For today, let me say a big thank you to everyone who has come online. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the encouragement I've been receiving. And I've got some managers out there who tell me that they just listen and then they don't like making comments, but they also like to share with me areas that I need to improve upon, areas and that I need to make adjustments on. I thank you if you're out there as one of those managers. Please keep the comments coming, whether by WhatsApp, phone calls, or whatever. I would appreciate it greatly. Thank you for your time today. And thank you for being a part and parcel of this. I'll call it a day at this point, even as I appreciate everyone who has taken time to be with us. See you next week on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Just before I go, we're planning for a Zoom training for those who are interested. Those who are interested can register for that training and be a part and parcel of the Zoom training. Now, there are numbers on the screen going pass by on the scroll bar. Take any of those numbers, go to our statuses on WhatsApp, look at the flyer and see what the requirements for registration are, and please feel free to register. Feel free to register. Now, if you register, we'll give you the link to the WhatsApp, to the Zoom platform, and then on that day, you can click on the Zoom platform and be a part and parcel of the training. Once again, I would like to appreciate you all for your time and thank you for being a part and parcel of this broadcast. See you next week at 1